All right, good afternoon, everyone. Again, we are joining today for a presentation on Zoom breakout rooms for instructional delivery. Again, this is the same presentation that we shared on February 11th. Hopefully you have all had a chance to join us on nearpod.com for today's activities. For the next steps. All right. I think we're all muted now.
Okay. And so before we get started, we want to take a quick poll, kind of a temperature check. We want to find out how comfortable you are using breakout rooms for instructional delivery. And this activity, the names will be totally anonymous, so we won't know who said what. So feel free to answer honestly. We want to find out how comfortable you are using breakout rooms for instructional delivery. Not comfortable, more assistance needed. Somewhat shaky, more assistance needed. All right, time's up.
Social media posts, right?
All right, so on the screen, you can see all of the data that we pulled from this poll. It looks like, 33% of us are somewhat shaky where more assistance is needed, which is identified by the light blue. The green, a lot of us are also feeling comfortable. And Ms. Vasquez, if you could scroll down a little bit. I think the gray is just a percentage of us that haven't answered.
Yeah, 16.7, 10%. And so that's good, because this is going to kind of move today's session. Even though it's a repeat, it'll move it in a different direction today. So we also want to find out how often you use breakout rooms currently for your instructional delivery. How often? So daily, every other lesson, several times a week, once a week, never. Five seconds. Get your answer in. 3, 2, 1.
All right. And so again, our data shows that looks like just about half of us, about 43%, are using it once to twice a week. We do have about 27% that have never used it. And so, hopefully after today, those of you that have never used it might be inspired to go ahead and try this engaging platform with your students. 15%, about 16% say several times a week, which is awesome. And then we have about 8% that use it daily or every lesson, which is great too.
All right, so on today's agenda, we're going to give you an overview of how to create and manage breakout rooms in meeting, how to prepare breakout rooms in advance. And we're going to give you some suggested best practices as well as some expectations that are coming from our teaching and learning department. And if we have time at the end, we'll have a tech playground for you. All right, take it away, Ms. Mayo.
All right, so first thing that we are going to look at today, is in-meeting options. So this short video is going to show you how, when you are in your Zoom meeting with your students, how you can go ahead and basically create your own breakout rooms right then and there in your Zoom meeting with your students. So this is without any planning done ahead of time.
The purpose of this video is to show how to create breakout rooms while in your Zoom meeting without any pre-planning. This would be beneficial for quick, on-the-fly grouping. Maybe you have an activity and you want your students to do a think, pair, share, or you need to quickly create some other type of heterogeneous grouping. Then this assignment of a breakout room might be beneficial to you. Please make sure you have breakout rooms enabled on your Zoom.us settings. Otherwise, you will not see breakout rooms in your Zoom toolbar. Once you click on it, you notice that there are two options. The first one is automatically. So you as the host have the option of increasing or decreasing the breakout rooms according to your needs. Because I only have 2 participants, I am going to create 2 rooms. But when I choose automatically, Zoom will take the participants and automatically put them into a random breakout room. So I'm going to.
You saying they can't hear?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We can
So,
You can hear it, but there's no video.
okay, are
Oh,
you,
okay.
are
yeah,
you,
we can't see anything.
All right, hold
are you
on.
back on the Zoom?
Hold on. I told you I have.
It's showing in Zoom. I was telling
It's
everybody that
right.
they have to go back to Zoom.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not going to
it's-
show, it's not going to show on Nearpod. You have to go back to your Zoom window.
Yeah, it's showing in Zoom, but even when I move the box, it's like small and you can't see some of the boxes that it's checking on. So like I can't even read what's in the box
Yeah.
in the breakout rooms. I mean, I know it's
So
there,
that,
but you can't see it.
yeah, that
It's
part we're
real-
aware of.
It's real blurry too.
That part we're.
So unfortunately, it's kind of like one of those things when you add a video to Nearpod, if you there is a way in Zoom where you can kind of adjust your screen so it's a little bit bigger. I think Ms. Vasquez might be able to blow up the screen just a little bit.
I can't.
Not in, okay. The other thing is that this information is going to be in our Schoology course. So there are sections or snippets of photos that we have enlarged that we will be able to show you a little bit more in depth after the video. But if there's something that you really can't see or that it's blurry, simply because maybe, our Wi-Fi just isn't, connecting correctly, please make sure you go to the Schoology course because we do have it posted there. And then that way you can review it and watch it, at your leisure. So we do apologize for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, you want me to start it from where I stopped or start it from the
Yes.
beginning? Okay.
Yeah, so just make sure you're.
And it's as
on
large as
Zoom.
I can get it.
The purpose of this video is to show how to create breakout rooms while in your Zoom meeting without any pre-planning. This would be beneficial for quick, on-the-fly grouping. Maybe you have an activity and you want your students to do a think, pair, share, or you need to quickly create some other type of heterogeneous grouping, then this assignment of a breakout room might be beneficial to you. Please make sure you have breakout rooms enabled on your Zoom.us settings. Otherwise, you will not see breakout rooms in your Zoom toolbar. Once you click on it, you notice that there are two options. The first one is automatically. So you as a host have the option of increasing or decreasing the breakout rooms according to your needs. Because I only have 2 participants, I am going to create 2 rooms. But when I choose automatically, Zoom will take the participants and automatically put them into a random breakout room. So I'm going to click create. And with my 2 participants, they were randomly put into the breakout rooms that I have. Now, as a host, I do have some options. I can rename those breakout rooms, I can delete it, and I can also take the students and move or exchange them, which is really beneficial if I know that there are some students that are just not productive when they work together. So I can take student B and move it to breakout room 2. I can move student B back, and I can also exchange 2 students. So those are just a couple of options that you have for the automatic portion of breakout rooms. I will delete those. And now we'll look at the manual side of breakout rooms. Again, I can increase or decrease the breakout rooms. And when I click on that, you will notice the formatting is a little different. I can, however, rename my breakout rooms, but this time I can assign the students. So once I click that, a panel will appear and it will list all of my participants that are in the current Zoom session. And as the host, I can cherry pick the students to go into the breakout room that I choose. Before I open all the rooms, there are a couple of options that I do want to go over. The first being the option to move all participants into breakout room automatically. I have this option checked, and that means that once I open my breakout room, students do not have the option of doing anything other than moving to that breakout room. Zoom will push them right into the room that I have assigned them. If this box is unchecked, your participants will get a pop-up box, and it will give them 2 options. The first option is to stay in the main room with you, the host, or they can click to move themselves to the breakout room. But basically, they will have that option. So if you do not want them to have an option, please make sure that box is checked. The other option you have in breakout rooms is to allow participants to return to the main session. If I have this checked, the student or participant will be able to leave that breakout room and return to the main room. If it's unchecked, they have to stay in that breakout room until me or my co-host closes that session and they are returned back to the main room. If you know that you just need your breakout room for 3 minutes or 10 minutes, you can click that box and it will automatically close. And if you need a countdown timer, I have one set at 15 seconds. So my students will see when I close the room, a 10-minute timer that counts down. And when that timer is up, they will automatically be moved back into the main breakout room.
Okay. So, I was viewing the chat during the presentation, and I understand that, given the video, that the buttons were very difficult to see and or grainy. So again, I encourage you to go to our Schoology course and please view the video on your own time. Everything you will be able to see it with more clarity. But moving on, the two images that you see on the Nearpod presentation right now in Zoom, or whether you're in Zoom or whether you're on the nearpod.com side, there was a Zoom update not too long ago where in your Zoom toolbar now, when you click on breakout rooms, that first box that's on the left will appear. And you have basically, a couple of choices. You can create however many breakout rooms that you need right there. And you also have the three buttons underneath that you can choose to either assign automatically, which if I chose to create 3 breakout rooms and I want, Zoom to automatically put the students, they will divvy them up into however many breakout rooms. The other option is to assign manually, where you will be able to, based on however many breakout rooms you have, a pop-up window will appear with all of your student names, and you would just simply click on the students that you want in breakout room 1 or 2. And the other option that was just added is to let participants choose their own breakout room, which, depending on, your students, your activity, may be beneficial at that time. Once you click that blue Create button, you'll see in the second image, the one that's on the right, that's that window where you have a couple of different options. Whether you want to move the students automatically to the breakout room, whether you want a countdown timer. So you do have a couple of different options. Like always, we encourage you to, open up your Zoom when you don't have students and kind of play around with those options. You can do so without having your students connected to you. If you want to contact, one of us, we can set aside some time where we can also, help you understand those buttons a little bit, better. All right. As always, we also do encourage the host to, bounce around inside of your breakout rooms. So if you have 4 breakout rooms open, you definitely want to navigate and just kind of pop in and check on your students, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But once you're in a breakout room and you click to leave, this pop-up window will appear and it will give you 3 options. You don't want to end meeting for all unless it's the end of the day. If you click leave the meeting, your students will still be in the meeting in your Zoom session alone, and you will have to rejoin. So definitely make sure you click the blue leave breakout room button. Another window will appear and it will guide you to, and ask which breakout room would you like to visit next, or do you want to return to the main room? So.
Ms. Meyer, can you repeat the part that you say when you leave the breakout room, which blue button you got to press? The blue.
So when you're in a breakout room, there's a blue, I call it blue buddy button down in the bottom right-hand corner. And I believe it says leave. I can't recall off the top of my head.
Yes, it's a blue button. I saw it.
Once you click that button, this pop-up window will appear, the image that you are viewing right now. Okay. And so if you want to bounce around to the other breakout rooms that your students are in, you're going to click that blue leave breakout room button.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And then another window will appear to ask you which room you want to go to next.
Gracias.
De nada. All right. So this next section is the pre-planning option. If you want, a certain number of students to be, let's say you want to organize your groups, you want to have a math breakout room, a reading breakout room, and those student names are not going to change, there is a way for you to plan in advance. So you're not having to click on buttons during your meeting. You just have to figure out what works best for you. So this is just a short clip that will show you, it's a 2-part clip to show you how to plan in advance.
Okay, once again, you got to put eyes back up front.
purpose of this video is to share how to prepare breakout rooms in advance. In Schoology, I already have my reoccurring Zoom meetings scheduled. And for the purpose of this video, I named my Zoom meetings Zoom B. In order to prepare your breakout rooms in advance, what you want to do is now visit zoom.us. And once you log in, you're going to click on Meetings, and your reoccurring meeting should appear. You're going to want to edit that meeting. So you're going to click Edit and scroll down until you get to the option Breakout Room Pre-Assign, and you want to click on that. We will talk about how to import from CSV in just a second, but for now, we are going to make in advance some breakout rooms. So you will want to click Create Rooms, and from here you want to add as many breakout rooms as necessary for your activity. I'm going to go ahead and create 2 breakout rooms, and from here I can also rename them. And you can do that again according to your needs. So instead of breakout room 1, I'm going to rename mine group 1. And the same, I'm going to call my second breakout room group 2. Again, I'm not going to add any participants just yet, but this is a way that you can pre-make your rooms. You will want to click Save, and then you will want to click Save again. And now I will show you what that looks like once you start a Zoom meeting. All right, so remember, when I prepared my breakout rooms in advance, I only added and renamed my rooms. I did not add any students to those rooms. So now that I have started my meeting, I can manually add students to those pre-made rooms. In my Zoom toolbar, I am going to click Breakout Rooms, and notice that my renamed rooms appear as group 1 and group 2. In order to assign, and I only have 2 students in my session at this time, but to assign those participants to those breakout rooms, you will want to click Assign, and you will get a panel of all of your participants' names, and then you can choose to go ahead and assign them manually. I also have some options here. You can click and choose the options. And once you click Open All Rooms, those students will go to those breakout rooms. This section of the video will review how to prepare breakout rooms in advance using the CSV file option. A CSV file is basically a file that contains data, and usually it's created using something such as Microsoft Spreadsheet or another application like Google Sheets. So for this example, I just created a quick template in Google Sheets, and in column A, I have my breakout room name, and in column B, I have the email address of the participants that I choose to put in these breakout rooms in my meeting. So what I am going to do is now take this file, and I'm going to download it by going to File, Download, and I'm going to download it as a CSV. Once it is downloaded, I'm going to go back to zoom.us, and I'm going to edit my reoccurring meeting. I am again going to scroll down to Meeting Options and click Breakout Room Pre-Assign. And from here, I'm going to click Import from CSV. Now you can either browse your desktop and upload your file, or you can simply drag and drop your CSV file. Notice that it already pre-assigns my rooms, and it also has added now my participants by their email. So once I click save and save again, I now have those pre-assigned breakout rooms ready to go when I start my Zoom meeting. And so I will show you what that looks like. Now that I have started my Zoom session and my participants are here, I can click on breakout rooms, and you will notice that all of the data has now been transferred over, and I have my group blue with student B inside, and I have group yellow with student A. Again, I can click on options, I can customize them to what I need. And when I am ready to push those students into their breakout rooms, I will click open all rooms.
Okay, so I know there were some questions in the chat. First thing I would like to say, just as a caveat, if you are not comfortable with sheets or CSV files, then by all means, you may be the person that feels comfortable, setting up your Zoom meeting while, you are in session and just, skip over this part. So it depends on what you are comfortable with. I understand that there are some questions in the chat about, you use the external link tool to schedule your meetings in Schoology. You should see those on the Zoom website under previous. And if you do plan on, scheduling your breakout rooms in advance so that they automatically appear, then you would click on edit and scroll down. Ms. Cooper, you're saying they are not there under previous, and you can unmute.
Yes, all I see is my tutoring session. So I created a tutoring session in my actual Zoom, but previously it's not in there. I can go back many pages, but once I go so far, it's going to show meetings that I created before the external link.
Okay. And your external link is identified by the square icon that looks like rulers?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're looking for breakout rooms that you create previously before you created the external tool in Schoology. Is that correct?
No.
I'm trying to, they said to create the breakout. Yes, so I'm trying to create a breakout room before my class starts. And in order to do that, they said to go to the actual Zoom. I signed in to my address. And when I go to my previous meetings, my Schoology external link meetings are not here at all.
Okay.
You don't see them?
In the chat, Jalexis, am I saying your name correctly? I hope so.
Yeah, I just looked today because I wasn't seeing it either. Like when I logged into Zoom, I couldn't go back to change the settings on the meetings anymore. But if you click on the external tool, like whatever the name is for your class, as if you were going to click on the Zoom link, you should see an option that gives you like settings, recordings, and I think reports, and it could be there.
Okay, so it's been updated then. Okay.
Yes, but we can help you. That's something that we can Zoom with you and help you to find them.
And I know there have been, a lot of changes throughout the school year with Zoom. They're constantly making updates. Our network administrators are constantly making updates. And so apparently I was not aware of that. So, I do apologize. Thank you for being a community where we are able to share, information. So Jalexis, I do appreciate you. So yes. And again, if you are not able to find it or see it, we can go ahead and help you. I mean, that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. And Miss Mayo put the ITRT assistance form in the chat. And we will also make sure that you have that again before you leave the session today, that you have how to contact us. You can also sign up on our calendars and see when we're free, and we're actually here for you. So that's what we do. And we like to, when things like that happen, we like to see, because trust me, it's probably just not happening with you, but other people as well. And so we like to be able to help others troubleshoot and fix their problems too.
Mhm. Right, thank you.
We're gonna continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we just have a quick activity for you. It is not going to last 3 minutes and 45 seconds because we're at the 3:15 time, and we have a hard stop at 3:30. So we're going to start our little quiz activity. No pressure whatsoever. Just kind of ask you 5 little questions about basically what you just saw in the last couple of videos. For those of you who may be visual. Okay, I'll give you about 10 more seconds.
Mhm. And yes, the questions are on the Nearpod side.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it.
All right, and so at this time, if you were able to answer the questions, you will see your score, how many you scored out of 5. Yes, both the co-host and host can move between breakout rooms. So both people are able to cycle between your breakout rooms that you have. Yes, it is false that rooms cannot only be set up in meeting only. You have the option of doing it in meeting only or in advance. It is true that the host can broadcast messages to the breakout room during a session. And we'll show you some snippets of images about that. Yes, it is true that hosts can create rooms. So participants are randomly selected, and false, a time limit can be set for breakout room sessions.
Okay, during this portion of our session, we want to give you some suggested best practices for utilizing breakout rooms with your students. You can assign specific group roles, design a shared task, provide for team feedback, give them consistent grouping, and also teach students how to ask for help. I think.
All right.
So,
Okay, so you good?
yes.
All right. So example group roles, we feel like it would be very beneficial if you assigned group roles for your students that are in breakout rooms. So be specific, hold them accountable, also be strategic in planning your groups. You know, if you have a couple of responsible students that, you know, can be your eyes and ears while you are navigating between breakout rooms, you know, try to spread them out. But when you assign them leadership roles, whether it's a scriber, presenter, technician, timekeeper, leader, if you've ever done literature circle roles, if you're a, you know, literacy teacher, you know, there are other roles that are out there, but you know, try to give everyone a role so that, you know, they take ownership for their learning and they have, you know, a job to do while they are in that breakout room.
So did you define each of the roles? The leader, make sure everyone's participating. The scribe writes the answers for the shared work. The technician is the one who shares the screen so the whole group can see it. The presenter is the one who actually reports out to the whole class at the end once the breakout room session is over and everybody comes back to the whole group. The timekeeper makes sure that everybody stays on track and keeps time. During the session, the leader and the scribe, they're the ones who have the shared work link. So for all of these group roles together, teamwork makes the dream work. Also, you can give the kids, you know, they should actually know when they go into the breakout room what they're there for, and you can design a shared task. There are so many different ways or digital tools that you can use. You can use Google Docs, the slides, Jamboard, and even Neopard. We have an example near the end of our session for the Neopard collaborative board. All of this is a great virtual space where you can showcase students' work. And also it's a simple way, especially within Neopod, they can actually take notes, but it's a simple way for to give them like the groups can be able to take notes. Of course, the scribe is the person who takes the notes for the whole group, but each of the individual students can take their own notes as well. You can use like collab paragraphs, color coding the group task. You can have just like if you were when we were face to face and we had centers and you had task cards, same type of thing you can do virtually or face to face. Okay, and pictured there's an example of a Jamboard discussion placement activity, and we do have a link to the copy of this that will be in our course. Give all students opportunity for feedback. Encourage them to be able to give feedback on the particular activity, but also to give feedback to their peers to evaluate the overall work of the group. Can you all hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The overall work of the group, and you can actually have them do like an exit ticket in the form of a Google survey before they leave, to just, you know, kind of evaluate how everybody worked together as a group. And that will also help you to improve tasks for the future and also give them a good scope of, you know, how they work as part of a team, especially if you're giving them a rubric to go by. Okay, we'll just have a quick match it activity. You're going to match the role with the responsibility. This is back in Neopod. And we're going to give you 6 of the roles that you saw, 5 of the roles that you saw in the group roles activity, and see if you can match up who's supposed to do what. If you're using your cell phone, it's a little hard to see. You may have to scroll down to do the matching. And you get 6 tries.
Let's see the stuff.
Yep. So again, you want to go ahead and navigate to Nearpod.
Oops.
All right. And time is up.
Oh, time is up. Thank you. I was looking somewhere else. Okay, so there you see the correct answers. The timekeeper keeps track of the time. That one was fairly easy. The leader makes sure everyone is participating. The scribe writes the answers in the shared work for the whole group. The technician is the one who shares the screen so that the group can see the work. The presenter presents the findings to the whole class once the students come out of the breakout session. And also the leader and the scribe are the one who have the shared link from the teacher. All right, so keep the same grouping while changing roles. You can let your students learn to collaborate by reflecting. We talked about that with the evaluation form. They should always be judging their own work, setting new goals and trying again using a different strategy. You can randomly assign new groups for each class and keep the same grouping. So it's what works best for your class. Also, you want to go over this one, asking the teach the students to ask for help. As a class, you can decide on a help signal that they can use. It can be as simple as pressing the ask for help button, which is also located within Zoom. And we have some pictures to show you.
Yes. So step one, that's your Zoom toolbar. The student's toolbar, excuse me. They have a button that says ask for help. So if they are in a breakout room with their group working and you are in the main room or a different breakout room, if they click on that button, a pop-up window will appear. And basically they're asking the host, to come to their breakout room, for assistance. Okay, so again, your student would click the button, ask for help. They would then get a pop-up button. They would click the blue button that says invite host. And then wherever you are, you will get a pop-up window that appears, which is that third image. And well, you can see it on your screen as well. And it basically tells you the student's name who is requesting help and what room that they are in. And so all you would have to do as the host is to click on that blue button to join them and assist them.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but were you sharing something with us?
Yes.
We do not see that. All we see is your name and that you're starting to, but we don't see anything.
I was able to see everything that she had on there.
It depends on, where
I was
you
on
are.
Nearpod.
If you're on Nearpod, you can see it. So if you went to join.nearpod.com and entered that code, although it may have been frozen on the Zoom side, you should be able to see it on Nearpod side.
I apologize. Wasn't sure if we were on Nearpod or here.
That's okay, because those are the questions that your students might have, you know. And it might help too if they had two tabs open and did a split screen. So if they had their Zoom window on one side and, you know, their browser open to Nearpod, you know, on the other. And then that way they can see both at the same time. That might help as well.
Okay. And before we finish up today, we just have one more slide after this and some resources. We want to kind of get some ideas from you. Then if you've seen our presentation and you have an idea, especially if you were a person who never used breakout rooms or if you've been using them somewhat in your classroom, we hope that now you will increase usage in your classroom. But we just want to get some ideas from you about how you use breakout rooms with your students, or how you can use our breakout rooms with your students. So we hope that from what you've seen today, you might have some ideas or thoughts that you can share with others. And to use the collab board at the bottom where it says share thoughts and or images here, you can just click there and put your answers. You can type if you just want to put in words, or you can actually use images that are already in the library there. And then everybody can see the answers as they pop up. And then if any of you all have ever been using anything like Answer Garden or Padlet, this collab board in Nearpod is similar to that. It's actually one of my favorite features.
Yeah. One recommendation if you're presenting the collab board is to make sure that you have the link to approve the posts first, to that way you could avoid anything that's not appropriate from showing up.
Yeah, so that actually pops up when you're about to share the activity with your students. And so for today, I actually clicked no, I didn't want to approve. I couldn't see who that was. They gave that suggestion, but thank you so much for that reminder to tell them that that you if you wanted to be able to approve, you would hit the yes button. And that's good, because sometimes kids say things inappropriately once they see an open platform, right? All right, so as you all are sharing, as time is wrapping up here, you all have said think, pair, share, class projects, group practice. Oh, I love that, tiering the students. I love one-on-one, peer editing, small group remediation. Definitely group projects and collaborating on that. And we actually have a few more suggestions about that. Okay, good job, everybody. You want to wrap up for us, Ms. Mayo?
Yes, absolutely. All right, so just some other ideas to consider. We had a conversation with the teaching and learning team, and just some things that, you know, they brought to our attention in addition to some things that we have already presented here today. If, you know, when you do set up your breakout rooms and you're having these discussions and conversations with your students, please make sure you set clear expectations, your do's and your don'ts, and what you want to see versus what you don't want to see. And, you know, prepare your activities in advance, plan your time. The more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. But, you know, our suggestion would be to maybe, you know, limit your breakout room time to 10-15 minutes, where you're able to, you know, go in and cycle through your breakout rooms that you have open, which leads us to the next one. Don't leave your students unsupervised for a long extended amount of time. Please make sure that you are moving, pop into those different rooms where your students are. If possible, consider creating stations during a time where you have another adult that's in your classroom or, you know, in your breakout room, where they are available to co-host with you and monitor some other rooms that you may not be a part in. And definitely hold your students accountable. Again, use the exit ticket, have them evaluate each other. Yep, so I think those are all great ideas for you to consider.
And then
Mhm.
we thank you all so much for your time today. Again, we're going to put the survey so that we can receive feedback for our session in the chat. We're also going to put the sign-in sheet in there again in case you came in a
Yep.
little late and you weren't able to sign in. We're going to put the ITRT assistance form in.
Grab that.
Yes, and you all will be able to find this presentation on our Schoology course by tomorrow. We all have a conference that we're attending today, so we'll make sure that we get it in early part before noon tomorrow.
Mhm.
And then also we just had some resources. One of the resources you had already seen because the superintendent put it in her newsletter, and that was the one with the suggested group roles from Esther Park. Esther Park is fantastic. She is a Virginia educator. She's an expert with using breakout rooms with students. All of her work is out there. So we're going to put in the course a link to some of the resources and suggestions she has. Also, we found a virtual rotation station that we got from the Virtual Virginia Professional Learning Network, or something that they suggested from I think it was from Caitlin Tucker, who's also a leading expert in this virtual world. And then also from Zoom, and then Edutopia this week had some really wonderful articles about different tips for breakout room suggests. I think they had about 4 or 5 different articles there. So hopefully that'll be something that can help you. Again, we're here to assist you and help you. You are not alone. You
Mhm.
have us, and we're going to be here to help you all the way through. So don't be afraid to reach out to us and contact us. And Ms. Mayo and I, we work very closely together as far as, helping people. And so just look for us.
Mhm.
We
And
appreciate your
although,
time today.
yes, and although we didn't, we're not going to have time for, a playground, we were thinking that anyone that wants to perhaps join us on Zoom, maybe one day next week, Monday, Tuesday, if you reach out to us, we are more than happy to, log into Zoom with you or, a couple of people, and just play around with the breakout rooms and,
Yes.
maybe be able to answer any other further questions that, you have.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. It's a pleasure.